Welcome to Unloaded the podcast. This is Michael Seahorn,
Shannon Morrow.
and I hope all of our listeners out there are doing well. Shannon, how you doing?
Good.
All right. It's been a good couple episodes. We're getting into the daily grind, if you will, just kind of talking about some of the things that we deal with on the day-to-day basis and how it relates to what we talk about here on Unloaded, the weight, the truth, and all of the good stuff that we've talked about for the last, 12, 13 episodes. So it's always exciting to continue on to the next one. This week, I'd like to talk a little bit about something that there's a lot of memes out there about this. There's a lot of there's just a lot of stuff out there about when you're passing somebody in the hallway or on the street or wherever the location doesn't matter. And in passing, you're just like, "How's it going?" "Fine."
Yeah.
You just keep walking.
Yeah. Because
right?
I'm walking this direction. You're walking that direction. Neither of us really want to break stride. And you're going to ask me how I'm doing?
Right.
Like, I'm fine, man. Let's just keep going.
Right. And it's there's some comedy value, or what was that word? Comedy. I don't want to make up a word, or Shannon will tell me I'm making things up again. I know there's a word. What is it? Can you come to it? I'll figure it out and I'll bring it to the next episode. But there's some comedy, if you will, in that, because so many times that's exactly what happens. You're just in passing. "Hey man, what's going on?" "Nothing." Or, "Hey man, how you doing?" "Fine."
I'm good, man.
And
It happened. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're
It
good.
happened
No.
at the beginning of this episode. In fact, the beginning of most episodes.
Yeah.
"Hey, Shannon, how you doing?" "I'm good, man. I'm fine."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
It's very, I don't know. It's almost just, it's just something people do.
it's an answer to
Right?
a question. It's a quick, concise, because we're here to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And this is just like the little social habits most people have of just, I'm acknowledging you, you're acknowledging me. We have to say something to each other. "Hey, what's up? How's it going?" "Oh, I'm good. Not much." And then, fine. Okay, let's get on with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an unusual thing because I have in past times when I'm not quote unquote doing fine, whatever that means. Somebody has asked me, "Hey man, how's it going, Mike?" And I'll just literally say, "I've had better,"
Mhm.
and I'll just keep going. And you want to talk about like throwing kind of a wrench into the normalcy, if you will, of just normal,
Yeah.
back and forth. It trips people up. They're not. I don't know, subconsciously, maybe like Shannon's saying, is it's just something that we do in passing, or it's just, I don't know what it is. Maybe that's just where we are in a society. That's just what we've always done, and that's what people continue to do. I don't know. It's weird.
Try it on, man.
Yeah.
What's up? Not much. What's up? Not much. What's up? I feel like hell.
Yeah.
Wait, what? No.
Yeah, no, don't say that. I didn't actually want to know.
No. I'm just kind of like just that standard greeting, man. "Hey, what's up?" I don't actually.
No, actually, don't really. I'm not worried about
No.
how you feel, actually.
No, just saying hi, man. Just say hi.
But Shannon is right, though. I've done that in the past where I just tell people, I've had better days.
Yeah.
And some people, obviously, the people who know me will say, "Oh man, are you good, or everything all right though?" And like I said, I think it's, man, I always have to be so damn careful when I look at how I'm doing as a human being. Depending on where I'm at and who I'm around, my responses are always going to be a little bit different because of what we've talked about in our past episodes. Is I don't want to unload on people that I really don't want to unload on, and B, I don't want to unload on people who don't have the bandwidth for it, and I don't want to unload on some people because it's just not fair to them, right? So there's a lot in there, I know, but if somebody asks me, let's just say in my office, if I'm having not too bad of a day or too good of a day, and somebody says, "Oh, hey, Mike, how you doing today?" And I say, "I don't know. I'm all right." Most of the time, I'll get an honest feedback from them, and they'll be like, "Hey, you know what's going on, man? You want to talk about it? Are you good?" Most of my staff knows I don't talk about a lot of stuff, especially in the personal side of the house. So most of the time, they'll be like, "Well, hopefully you have a better day," and I'm good with that. I appreciate that. You know, just that nice little, hey, I acknowledge it what you said, and I hope your day gets a little bit better. To me, that's pretty good, man. Because they know I'm not going to dive into it with them.
No,
So
that's not.
that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? But do you think, Shannon, sometimes as humans we use that as a mask in a way, like a masking device in a way? Just I'm good, I'm fine.
Well, yeah, and that's just one of. I mean, that's just one pretty little paint stroke on the mask. You know, I
Right.
mean, it starts when we get up in the morning. You know, most of just shower, try and get our hair just right, put on the right clothing for the day. You know, just all the things we do just to be quote unquote presentable when we step out, when we enter the workday, when we're in public, when whatever we're doing. You know, it's okay, all the social norming and all the expectations, and okay, here we are out in the world trying to get along with a bunch of other human beings out here. And who am I? What do I want? What's expected? Who are you? What are you after? You know, and it gets quite complex quite quick. So yeah, to your question about masks, that's a common analogy. I mean, we're not going to run around out here naked or anything. But I think what you're driving at is when it's not authentic enough, when it's actually maybe we are steering too far from the truth. Maybe we are losing our own authenticity. We're doing ourselves a disservice and maybe others by really, to your point, masking or hiding or denying our true feelings or experience.
Yeah, and I use the term mask just because it relates to my story. But what I was, I think, more referring to is it's kind of a cover up, if you will. It's like, man, I'm not doing okay today, but I'm just going to hold on to the weight. I'm going to pack it in the pack. I'm going to put it in my safe, and I'm just going to put the, hey, man, how are you? Fine, I'm good. And, you know, just keep moving.
Sometimes we need that cover up. Sometimes we want to have our pants on, right?
Do you think that if you continue that for a long duration, that there could be maybe, a negative to that?
Well, yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Where we're just keep saying we're fine, and maybe you're not. Maybe you're really struggling that week, and maybe you just don't feel like you have a spot or a place to do the unloading.
Yeah. So you just give the pat answer.
Right? And you just keep moving along your way. And that really goes back to what this whole thing is about, is booking that 1 hour with somebody, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, book the hour, book one session with somebody just to have an outlet. Because if you don't feel like you can be honest with whatever group or circle you're in, I don't like to use those terms very much, but whether it's a family or your friends or your work or whatever it is you do, maybe you're just a solo, lone wolf out there, and that's okay too, man. I've had my days of being a lone wolf. But I do recommend, just if you're getting to the point where you're just masking, if you will, or you just don't feel comfortable enough telling somebody, like, man, I'm not doing fine. It's been 5 days. I've just been telling people I'm fine, and it's just eating at me, eating at me. And that's what I worry about with people.
Thank you. That now most. You're getting there. If it starts really eating at folks,
right?
Yeah, that's because most people aren't ready for just have the time and the space for a true conversation around. I mean, okay, toward your example, say someone's having a really difficult week. Some pretty tough stuff has happened in their personal life, and at the same time, work is excessively demanding, and they're just getting their ass kicked.
Right.
Multiple. And but in the hallway, or on the way out the door in the morning, there's not, hey, okay, hope you have a good day, see you tonight, or work, hey, how's it going? I'm fine, but inside, of course, that's not the truth. You're getting your ass kicked. So there's often just not a lot of opportunity to say, can we actually slow down? Can I actually just unload? I'm getting my ass kicked. I got some shit to talk about. I'm really struggling. Can I just vent for a while?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of opportunity for that at work, at home. That is why you are encouraging, and through your very own personal experiences, how valuable it is to go see a professional. It's worth it. It's sometimes can take a little doing to set up, find someone, schedule, of course, paying for it. But then, man, that is so often what we're really needing, to have that time, have that space, walk in, sit down, close the door, and then you got that full hour to just actually, I'm not fine.
Yeah, and I know sometimes, and this I'll just use my own experience, so I'm not just making things up. There are some times when things start stacking very fast on the heavy side of the coin, right? And I know that if you're not practicing some type of self-help, that when those things start to stack, sometimes they feel like they become too much too fast, and then you really start getting into where everything starts stacking, because now you're having a hard time differentiating between just normalcy that maybe you have already dealt with in the past versus everything feels like a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing you know, you've got 1,000 things stacked up, maybe comparatively to 10. So that's what I worry about. And as a leader, that's some of the things that I look at in my own inner circles is, is there a difference in my inner circle, whether it's in the office or in my family? Am I getting those canned, I'm good, I'm fine, and, maybe there's no other context, but maybe that person is generally very talkative, and now they're not very talkative. So as a leader, I think it's very important for the leaders that may be listening to this episode today is I take it very personal as a leader. I don't shy away from admitting that to people. I think when we're in a leadership role of any kind, that comes with a great responsibility, and this is just my opinion on the matter. I take it personal because I know that I can have influence both ways, on the positive or the negative, depending on how my interaction with that person goes. But I like to know my staff to the point where if I see a day or 2 or 3 days of withdrawal, or there's just not what I would say is normal, that's generally when I'll pull somebody in. And just be, hey, man, I'm just concerned about you.
Wow.
Seem a little different the last couple of days. Everything going okay? And sometimes that's all it takes, right? Because you got to build the trust first, right? And once that trust is built, sometimes they'll be, oh man, I've been struggling, man, or this happened and I'm trying to deal with it. And other times, people are like, no, I'm okay, man. It's just had a rough couple of days, but I appreciate you noticing, and and you move on. And you don't make a big deal out of that. You got to own it. But I think that's what I worry about with people is when it starts stacking so fast, it can be so overwhelming so quick, man. You just don't know what to do.
No. Yeah. And you can see that in others, as you just described. And that underlying message, hey, I see you. I know you well enough to know that something's off. and I care about you. And so I'm going to inquire. I'm not going to avoid this. I care about you enough to pull you aside and let you know, hey, I see something's going on, and I care. And if you want to talk about it a little, I'm here for you. If not, all good, man. It's just letting you know.
Yeah, I think the I'm fine or I'm good or whatever the verbiage you want. It could be a million different things. I think it, for me personally, I used to hide everything under that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I was probably an expert.
Yeah, and sometimes that's okay.
You know?
I don't have time to actually explain to you why I'm so grumpy right now. So, dude, I'm good. Just leave me alone. Let's just finish the day, and maybe tomorrow. But
Which is funnier because as they're asking you, it's just making you more
yeah,
frustrated.
Dude, stop it. Exactly.
I was fine, but now I'm
yeah. Right. Oh, you can tell I'm off, huh? Oh.
Yeah, I'm off now.
Yep.
Keep asking.
Yep.
It's I know we laugh about that, but it is how it feels.
Yeah.
I mean, it is how it feels, and it's crazy. It's crazy to think about. Life can be heavy, man, and when people don't know what to do with it, they don't know where to go with it. There's just so many negative paths that can take people down, and I feel like, could it have changed, if they had someone to talk to? Could it have changed if there was an outlet? Could it have changed if they were able to recognize that they were at a place where they're just, I'm too stacked up, man. I got too much. I need to unload something here, but I just don't know what to do with it. I don't know where to take it. So I was saying, Shannon, is there's, when you get to that point where you're just overloaded, man, and people need someone to talk to, there needs to be an outlet for something. Do you know of an outlet where people can maybe talk to somebody for free or just talk to somebody in a crisis moment?
Oh, yeah. Level 1, man. 988.
988.
Yep. 24/7 national hotline. You can text, you can call. There's trained professionals. It's free. In English, Spanish. Very valuable resource. Please, we are not as alone as we often perceive we are. And when we are hitting our limits, when we just things are getting pretty dire for us, please reach out to whether friend, family member, coworker, therapist, counselor, hotline. We're all pretty joined as a human species. We're all hoping to support each other, helping get us all through this together as best as we can. And it's, often a misperception that we're all alone because it just takes just reaching out.
Yeah, that's good. So 988, we'll add that into our normal repertoire, if you will, as we move forward. 988's a good option because, it's anonymous, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming it's anonymous. Mm-hmm. I've never called it, but I'll do some more research on the 988, just what it entails, and I'd like to know just a little bit more personally, just so we have a little bit more information to share with our listeners out there. But it's good to know when you are feeling to the point where you're just, like Shannon said, you just feel like you're the only person on the planet, man. There's 8 billion of us. You're not alone. You're not feeling probably something that, a couple other million people probably aren't feeling in very similar fashion. Mm-hmm. But it's easy. It's so easy, man, to feel like you're on that island by yourself, man, because I've been there. Mm-hmm. I have been there. It is not a good place to be for a duration of time. Unless you're putting yourself on the island for whatever reason, that's a different story. But the island we're talking about is a very dark, very cloudy, very isolated place to be. And when you feel like you're in that space, that's when you really need to reach out to somebody, man.
Yeah.
Reach out for some help. And, get some clarity, or just shoot, unload. Man, unload it right then and there over the phone, man. Just let it out, And I don't want to talk too much on the 988 because unfortunately, I'm going to be honest with our listeners. I don't know a lot about it. I've heard about it. I just haven't done any deep dive into it, but I'm going to just so I can understand the platform and where it's at, how it came about, and things like that.
Great.
So I think that'll be good for all of us. So, well, this might be a little bit shorter this session or this session. I'm so used to sessions. This recording is probably going to be a little bit shorter. We've run into just a couple technical snags here and there, and I don't want to make it more difficult than we need to.
You're just anxious to get to Hawaii.
That too, yeah. Well, actually, after this recording, I'll actually be back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have to talk about that.
Huh.
That'll be a good. That'll be a good chat, man.
Yeah. Good idea.
What happened? How do I feel? And what's that reset look like? Feel like? You know what I mean? I'll share some of that.
Cool. Okay.
I'll put some definitely some feeling and some thoughts in there, man.
All right.
But, we're at the 25-minute mark, so I think we're okay for this episode. This was a good episode. It went in a different direction that I could be honest. I don't think I was anticipating it to go. That's the lovely thing about being organic with Shannon and I is we just don't know where it's going to head. And I feel like this was very important, man.
I agree. Yeah. We often don't know where things are going to go. And so thank you for just the openness to like, oh, okay, it's going this direction instead. And just allowing for that more natural flow, if you will. And then where it led, what it uncovered. And just, okay, trust in the process.
Yeah, definitely trusting in the process. And as our podcast continues to move forward and we talk about so many different things, it's going to be a good time, I think, for everybody. And I'm excited for the future for Unloaded, especially once I get some things set up on the back end where maybe we can, I don't know, maybe we have a Q&A episode one day where people maybe load us up with some questions. That'd be fun. I think that'd be a great episode to have. I know we've talked about, and Shannon's going to help with getting some a female guest on the show from the mental health world, if you will. I look forward to that. So as we continue to be organic, and we're going to continue to try to grow our podcast, and I think we're going to try to grow internally here on trying to make this the very best thing that we can make it, and make sure we're covering everybody we can and just be all inclusive so we don't leave people out. I think that's important to Shannon and I. I don't want to speak for Shannon, but I'd say he's probably on the same boat. So you never know what's going to happen here in Unloaded. So that's kind of the excitement, right?
We'll keep it exciting.
We'll keep it exciting, man. I don't want it to be boring. I don't want it to be boring, man.
I'll keep throwing those curveballs.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He does well. Shannon should have been a pitcher for the major leagues, specializing in curveballs, man. Well, like always, we're coming to the end today. I appreciate each and every listener out there. I appreciate the support people are giving Shannon and I on the private side, but also in the public side. It means the world to me. I'm sure it means the world to Shannon, and we're going to continue to do our best at what we do here. I hope everybody has a great week this week, and for Mike Seahorn,
Shannon Morrow,
we will catch you on our next episode.